Model's YouTube English channel.
Hello, everyone. This is Model, your professional English instructor. Normally, I upload videos focusing on listening and English translation practice. However, creating these types of videos takes time, and realistically, it's challenging to release them more than once a week. Additionally, for those of you who listen, I imagine that listening and translation practice can be quite intensive as well. With that in mind, I thought about incorporating a different type of video, something that's easier to listen to and can be enjoyed more casually. These videos fully utilize AI-generated voices and are arranged from a professional perspective. Please give them a listen, and if you have any feedback, feel free to leave a comment. Of course, the main focus of this channel, helping those aiming for ICANN grade Pre-1 or the test of English for international communication called TOEIC test scores of 800 and above, remains unchanged. Now, let's get started.
Hello everyone, and welcome to today's English listening practice. I'm glad you're here, ready to improve your listening skills. I will speak slowly and clearly so you can understand as much as possible. Let's begin. Let me start by asking, do you sometimes struggle to understand spoken English? Maybe you find native speakers talk too fast or use words you're not familiar with. That's completely normal. The best way to improve is to practice listening every day. You can do this by watching videos like this, listening to podcasts, or even chatting with friends who speak English. In today's episode, I will ask questions and give you time to think about your answers. After that, I'll share some simple example responses. This will help you improve both your listening and speaking skills. Remember, it's okay if you don't catch every single word. Focus on the overall message. Over time, you will get better at understanding different accents and voices in English. Now, let's talk about something fun, free time activities. Think about this question. What do you enjoy doing when you have free time? Maybe you like reading books, watching movies, playing sports, or just relaxing at home. For example, I really enjoy going on walks in the park because it helps me clear my mind. I also love trying new recipes when I have a free afternoon. It's exciting to experiment with different ingredients and see what I can create. How about you? What is one hobby you do whenever you get the chance? Take a moment to think of your answer. If you were talking to a friend in English, you could say something like, in my free time, I enjoy playing the guitar, or, I love watching documentaries on wildlife. These sentences are short and simple, but they clearly show what you like to do. Now let's move on to the weekend. Weekends are special because many people don't have to work or go to school. We often spend weekends recharging or having fun. What do you usually do on weekends? You could say, on weekends, I enjoy meeting my friends for coffee, or, I like to spend time with my family and watch movies together. You might also talk about outdoor activities. I go hiking on Saturday mornings, or, I take my dog for a long walk. If you prefer staying indoors, you could say, I read mystery novels, or, I binge watch my favorite TV series. Practicing these sentences out loud can help you get comfortable with new vocabulary. Now, let's explore a topic everyone loves, food. Food is a fantastic conversation starter because everyone has to eat, and most people have certain dishes they love. So, what's your favorite food? You might say, my favorite food is sushi, or, I love eating pasta with a creamy sauce. If you enjoy sweet things, you could say, I have a sweet tooth for chocolate cake, or, I love pastries and desserts. Let's go a bit further. Do you like cooking? Cooking is a great way to learn about different cultures. Maybe you have a favorite dish you like to cook. You could say, I enjoy making homemade pizza, or, I love preparing spicy curries. Think about how you would answer if your English-speaking friend asked you this question. Now, imagine you're talking with someone about travel. They ask you, do you like traveling? If the answer is yes, you might say, I love traveling because it allows me to explore new places and experience different cultures. Then, you might share where you'd like to go. I've always wanted to visit Tokyo, or, my dream destination is the beaches of Bali. If you don't enjoy traveling, that's okay too. You could say, I prefer to stay at home and explore my local area, or, I'm happy just taking short weekend trips nearby. There's no right or wrong answer here. The important part is to practice expressing your feelings clearly in English. Next, let's talk about daily routines. Describing what you do each day is excellent practice for using simple present tense verbs. For example, you might say, I wake up at 7 a.m., I brush my teeth, or, I have breakfast before I go to work or school. Then, you can talk about your afternoons and evenings. I usually eat lunch at noon, or, I go to the gym after work. Think about how you manage your time. Do you plan your day, or do you go with the flow? You can say, I like to keep a schedule so I can be productive, or, I enjoy a more relaxed approach to life. Both answers are valid. The key is to speak clearly, confidently, and practice forming full sentences in English. Another useful skill when speaking English is sharing your opinions. People often ask questions like, what do you think about this movie? Or, how do you feel about this new cafe in town? When you're asked for your opinion, you can start your answer with phrases like, I think. I feel that, in my opinion. For instance, if someone asks about a popular film, you could say, I think the movie was really exciting, but I didn't like the ending. Or, if someone mentions a restaurant, you might say, in my opinion, the service is excellent, but the prices are a bit high. Now let's practice giving recommendations. Imagine a friend asks you, can you recommend a good book? You could reply, yes, I recommend this mystery novel because the story is very engaging. Or, I think you would like this biography since it's inspiring and full of life lessons. Similarly, if a friend is visiting your city, you could recommend places to eat or things to do. You might say, you should try the local street food, or, you can visit the art museum for some amazing exhibits. Recommendations are a fantastic way to practice using new vocabulary and sounding more natural in conversation. Let's move on to describing people in your life. For example, you might want to talk about your best friend or a family member. You can say something like, my best friend is very kind and always makes me laugh, or, my sister is hardworking and loves painting. Notice how I used adjectives like kind, funny, hardworking, and artistic. How would you describe your family members or close friends? Think of a few adjectives and characteristics. This is a great way to expand your vocabulary. You can describe someone's appearance as well. My father is tall with brown hair, or, my friend has curly hair and wears glasses. Use details that help paint a picture in the listener's mind. Another interesting topic is achievements and goals. People often ask, what are you proud of, or, what do you want to achieve? You might say, I'm proud of learning a new language, or, I'm proud of finishing a big project at work. When discussing future goals, you could say, I want to learn to play the piano, or, I hope to travel to at least 5 different countries. Talking about goals in English helps you practice verbs like, want to, hope to, and plan to. It also helps you learn to express your ambitions in a clear and positive way. Sometimes, you might face a conversation about a topic you don't know very well, or someone might use a word you've never heard before. What should you do in these situations? First, don't panic. You can politely ask, could you repeat that, please? Or, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Can you explain? Native English speakers often appreciate when you show interest and ask questions. This is an important part of communication. If you keep quiet, you might miss important details. So, be brave. Ask for clarification. This will help you learn new vocabulary and communicate more naturally over time. Now, let's talk about listening tips. Remember to focus on the main idea first. Don't worry about catching every single word. You can practice by watching English movies with subtitles. Start with subtitles in your own language, then try English subtitles, and finally watch without any subtitles at all. This method helps you gradually improve your listening skills. Another helpful tip is to listen to different accents. English is spoken in many countries, and accents can vary. Listen to British English, American English, Australian English, and so on. The more accents you hear, the more you'll understand global English. Good pronunciation is also very important. One way to practice is by reading out loud. Take a short paragraph or a few sentences in English, and read them slowly. You can even record yourself and listen back to spot mistakes. Pay attention to stress and intonation. English has a natural rhythm, so try to follow it. Over time, your speech will become clearer and more confident. Let's talk about motivation. Learning a language is a journey. It takes time and effort, and there may be moments when you feel discouraged. That's normal. The key is to keep going. Set small, realistic goals for yourself. For instance, practice listening for 10 minutes every day, or learn 5 new vocabulary words each week. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. We're reaching the end of today's episode. We've covered a lot of ground: free time activities, weekends, favorite foods, travel, daily routines, sharing opinions, giving recommendations, describing people, discussing goals, and handling difficult words. We've also talked about some listening and pronunciation tips. Before we finish, let's do one more quick practice. Think about one thing you learned today. Maybe it's a new phrase or a new way of asking questions. Say it out loud now. For example, you can say, "Today, I learned how to talk about my daily routine," or, "I learned a new way to describe my favorite food." This short review will help you remember better. Finally, thank you for joining me in this English listening practice. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Keep practicing every day, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Remember, every time you listen, speak, or read in English, you're getting one step closer to fluency. Until next time, stay motivated and keep practicing. Goodbye for now, and happy learning.
Don't forget to subscribe for more updates.